Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Pete here with MixBetterNow.com, coming to you with the brand new Mix Critique Monday. Today is February the 13th, 2017. We have 3 new mixes on deck, ready to go. This week we have mixes from Liam Hamer, Bobby Lee, and Paul Gonzales. Really excited to check these out and give them a listen. But for those of you who are new to Mix Critique Monday, I would like to say welcome. What Mix Critique Monday is it is a platform for you to get a free mix critique, to get another set of ears essentially on your mixes. All you have to do if you would like a free mix critique is email me, pete@mixbetternow.com. All of my contact information will be below in the show notes. You can also go to mixbetternow.com and email me via the website. But yeah, essentially it's just all constructive criticism. It's another set of ears on your mix to to kind of give input to get them as good as possible, so you can go back and make some revisions, or you can leave some things alone and I could say, hey, this is really great. And it's really that simple. So again, if you would like a free mix critique, it's first come, first serve. So you just send it to me. I put it aside, download it, put it in line. And right now, I believe we're booked till, I want to say the middle or the end of March. But definitely send over your mixes. Would love to have them. Would love to hear them. Okay, so 3 tracks. Rock by Liam Hamer, Unusual Times by Bobby Lee, and then the last up is Look Beyond by Paul Gonzales. So we're going to get into it straight away here. First up is Rock by Liam Hamer, and here we go.
Yeah. It takes you over like you're standing in a hurricane. You can't escape it or run away from the pain. I've always been a shoulder there to help you through. You turn the lights out. Tell me what the hell I'm supposed to do. Every moment that I think I got through, I'm back to where I found you.
All right, 2 things that I'm hearing right away. First is I'm hearing a little bit of mud buildup on the low end. Something that could definitely be remedied with a little bit of subtractive EQ on the mix bus. Not really sure specifically what instruments are causing that, but I'm just hearing a little bit of muddiness on the low end. So you could go ahead and do a little high pass filtering or search for, anywhere from 150, 200, 300, depending on where that is. The other thing that I'm hearing that's just a little bit more of a performance issue is that the vocal part that comes in right there seems a little bit flat. So the female vocalist seems to be singing off key. Let me just zoom in here so we can find the spot. And it was when the second, I guess that second layer came in.
To do every moment that I think I got through, I'm back to where.
Right there. So it's almost like the harmony, I think that they're trying to achieve just isn't really working. So, that's a tough one, especially when it's harmonies. Of course you can go in with software, and I've said this before, something like, a Melodyne or an Auto-Tune. But I'm always an advocate of get the performance right. If you really nail the performance, if you get everything to sound how you want it to sound during the recording phase, the mix is really going to take care of itself, and it's going to be a lot easier. So those are the 2 things that I'm hearing right away. I'm going to keep rolling here. I might mess with a little bit of the low end, see if we could take out some of this mud. But yeah, that the biggest issue there would probably be the out of the off pitch vocal.
Where I found you, 'cause I don't wanna be your opposite time. I can't take away the pain from the world inside. Drowning in a sea with no wind inside. I can't save you from yourself again tonight. I can be a rock, I can't be a rock. No, I can be a rock.
See, there's certain parts coming in and out on the tune here, like during this part.
You know, I can be a rock, I can't be a rock.
So, some stuff drops out there, and it gets, that muddier low end kind of goes away.
I can be a rock,
Right there.
I can't be a rock, no. I can be a rock, I can't be a rock tonight.
And then right there, if it's guitar, it's a little hard to tell. Yeah, for me, it's definitely the guitars that come in at that point. It sounds like, it almost sounds like they weren't filtered on the bottom, like with a high pass filter or something like that. So, when the bass comes in at that part, and then you have, I don't know if it's a stereo guitar, if you have one left and right, but it's just kind of making it a little bass heavy and a little bit muddy there. Like I said, a little like a 30 seconds before they drop out, it sort of cleans up, and then it comes back in and it gets a little bit muddier. The other thing too is that the drums just sound a little bit thin and a little bit almost like anemic. They sound like a maybe a drum loop or something like that, or some kind of drum software, and they just don't have that that natural sounding weight that you get with a really good recorded set of drums, or if you're using a high end something like Superior Drummer or Addictive Drums too. Even some of the really high-end loops will have some of that authenticity to the drum sound. So it could be addressed with a little bit of volume there, but the drums are just sounding just a little on the weak side.
Hold you, put you back together, but I can't mend the broken pieces that you keep on breaking over again. You see your lonely faces walking around this town. You think you're the only one who's ever been this down. Every moment that I think I got through, I'm back to where.
Yeah, it's that one part where the second female harmony comes in, that that harmony just doesn't really work with that part. It's off. The vocal's okay before that.
In this town, every moment that
it's not terribly off pitch. It's not very it's not coming in and out. It's just that one part where the second vocal comes in.
Moment that I think I got through,
right there.
I'm back to where I found you. I can't be a rock this time. I can't take away the pain from the world inside.
Vocals can come down a little bit, just a little bit of balancing here. Vocals down, the guitars are a little bit loud. Like I said, I would filter them to get rid of some of that muddiness. It'll also tighten everything up, getting rid of that some of that subby, muddy kind of low thing. Would love to hear some more punch and size on the drums for sure. The bass sounds okay.
Drowning in a sea with no end in sight. I can't save it from yourself again tonight. I can't be a rock, I can't be a rock, no. I can't be a rock, I can't be a rock tonight.
On that guitar solo, again, can definitely be cleaned up. I'm just hearing just some unnecessary lows on all the guitars pretty much. Now, I don't know if you're using an amp sim or something like that, but I know that's a very common thing that can happen with various amp sims versus actually going out and miking up an amplifier. So that's something I would definitely address, going back and doing some EQing on those guitars to clean up the low end for sure.
I'm back to where I found you. I can be a rock, I can be a rock, no. I can be a rock, I can be a rock, no. I can be a rock, I can be a rock, no. 'Cause I don't wanna be a rock.
Again, here, like the harmonies, it just sounds off to me. The harmonies aren't really jiving with each other.
I can be a rock, I can be a rock, no. I can be a rock, I can be a rock.
They're just not really. They're not harmonizing in the correct key that you would essentially sing a harmony above or below the lead vocal there. So if possible, to re-record those parts or to use some kind of software to pitch it up or down. Again, I always like to say go back and re-record it. If possible. We'll go from here.
'Cause I don't wanna be a rock this time. I can take away the pain, the world inside. You know. Drowning in the sea with no one to save you tonight.
I'd pull down those the female background vocals there. They're kind of drowning out the lead vocal, which is I guess if you want to do that, it's okay, but I would say 99% of the time that is, you kind of want to fold them underneath the lead vocal there. So I would definitely bring those down so that way you can hear the lead vocal, but you can also hear the background vocals, sitting underneath that. Yeah, so around 200 there, I would definitely pull out some 200, clean it up a little bit. The volume of the rhythm guitars on the left and right is a little bit high here. Again, it's kind of competing with the lead, so I would definitely pull the rhythm guitar down a bit there. I also think when you high pass and do some cleanup on the low end, the volume of those is going to come down a little bit, but they're just a little bit hot. Well, they're quite a bit hot there in relation to the lead guitar. Right, Rock by Liam Hamer. Right on, man. Thank you for the mix, Liam. I appreciate that. Cool tune. Little bit of thing, a couple things going on there that I think, that are fixable that would really enhance your mix. Make it sound quite a bit better, namely taking care of the female harmonies on those in the parts where they come in there, cleaning up some of the low end, quite a bit of low end buildup that I'm hearing going on there. So make sure that you're high passing everything that you should be. I high pass everything, including my bass guitar. I high pass my mix bus. So, think about what most people are going to listen on. You're not going to hear 20 hertz, 30 hertz on the majority of systems unless you have a sub or you're on a super hi-fi system. So I think that would help out a lot. A couple volume things there can easily be taken care of just with couple tweaks and some automation rides and things like that. So, but overall, really solid job, Liam. Appreciate you submitting, and a big thanks on that one. That was rock. Next up, we have a song called Unusual Times, and this one is from Bobby Lee. So let's check this out. I'm gonna move this over, zoom in. And let's take a listen to Unusual Times. Here we go.
Seeking you find, hiding where you down, run from the tide. A memory of what you were.
Cool song.
Bordering times, a bridge too far from your mind. You will find we're burning you down. Forever we fly before we must walk. Can anyone hear me? They'll say these are unusual times.
Really cool song, man. Really digging Unusual Times so far. A couple things that I'm hearing just off the bat. It just seems to be a little bit light on the low end, whereas in the last tune it was a little low heavy. We had some low end buildup, a little bit of muddiness going on. Here, I would love to hear some more low end. So I don't, not too sure what's going on. If maybe there was too much high passing, too much filtering being done on the low end. Maybe it is just some level adjustment that needs to be done via things like, the low end instruments like, a bass guitar or another guitar or a pad or something like that. But I'm really digging the tune. I like the way everything sounds. The vocals to me are a little bit loud and upfront. And what I mean by that is I feel like they could be pushed back into the mix a little bit more via some reverb or some delay or something like that. Now, if you don't want it to be audible type of reverb, you can definitely blend in a lesser amount, but just kind of take it from the vocal being very upfront, and I would just move it back a little bit. It almost sounds like they're a little bit separate from one another. And, I always like to make sure that the vocal is pushed back enough into the rest of the music so that it kind of feels like it's one thing, as opposed to, okay, well, here's a dry vocal and it's really out front, and here's the rest of the band and back. So very easily fixable. Like I said, I like to use like a short plate on something like that, or a small room, something where you can just kind of just take the vocal from here and just move it there, or a short delay, an eighth note delay. You could really do it where you're not going to hear a whole lot of that wetness, and you could even make sure the repeats are turned all the way down or even off, and it won't be that noticeable.
Bringing me down.
I love how the acoustics sound. They sound fantastic. They sound like they're recorded very well, which is super important. But I love how I can hear the percussive nature of the pick attack on the guitar, yet I can also hear I can hear the notes. A lot of times in rock tunes like this, in a busier song where there's lots of instrumentations, it's you'll a lot of the time hear stuff where you're just hearing that percussive pick attack, or the acoustic sounds a little bit glassy and harsh, but it sounds really nice here. I love how you've done that. Like that trem guitar, that sounds cool.
I stepped out of line, answered the call too late. I'm my life for the freedom of all. When the moment arrives, I will be waiting there by your side. Whoa, when the moment arrives, I'll be waiting there. Forever we fly, before we must walk, I pray. Can anyone hear me? They'll say these are unusual times. I'm ringing these down. I'm turning inside out.
So a couple things that I'm hearing overall EQ wise that I just did real quick that I think are making the overall tone sound a little bit better and tighter here. Boosting a little bit of 60, so about 65. Now, what I often find 60 hertz to reflect will be the bass guitar fundamental, the kick drum fundamental. So by enhancing some of that, we're gaining some of those lows that I kind of want to hear, kind of getting some of that, that low end girth back into this mix, and then just pulling out a little bit of 300 here because I feel like we're getting a little bit of that muddy boxy thing happening. So by doing a little bit of boost and a little bit of cut here, it's really opening it up and making it sound quite a bit bigger to me. If I do an auto gain on the level, you'll be able to hear it when I pull it in and out. So this is what I'm taking out around 300. You can really hear it's kind of like that. It's that nasal. It's kind of like this, a little bit of mud in there too. About 3 dB out on there. And then about a 2 dB boost around 60. So that's something that you could just kind of keep in mind when you're going back and addressing some of the EQ issues here. Very cool. Like the djembe. Love that tremmed out guitar. Tremolo sounds awesome. Guitar tone sounds really great. I really like that djembe on the end there. Very cool creative decision. Love the slow fade on the outro. Right on. Song actually reminds me of an amazing band. I guess they were probably at the peak of their popularity was like the mid 90s, like 95. But there's a band called Kula Shaker, Kula Shaker, Shaker. They are from the UK. Guy's name is Crispian Mills, and one of my favorite records of all time. It's called K, like, you know, the letter K. You know, and that kind of reminded me a little bit of that, you know, kind of jammy, you know, cool rock and roll vibe with a lot of cool instrumentation going on there. So Bobby Lee, that was Unusual Times from Bobby Lee. Thank you, Bobby. That was very cool. A little bit more low end there going on. Okay. I would push the vocals back a little bit in the mix via some type of wetness, you know, a little bit of reverb, a little bit, if I could talk, a little bit of delay is what I was going to say. Whatever you like, okay? You know, if you're a reverb guy, a delay guy, or a little bit of both would be very cool there. Just, you know, not to necessarily make it dripping wet, but just to kind of move the vocal from here and bring it back with the rest of the music and kind of make it sound as one whole song. Very cool though. Really like the tune. Yeah, those are the two main things that I heard on there. So right on, man. A little bit of EQ moves on the mix bus too, I think you could do. But I would go back there to get some of your low end back, whether it's the bass or the kick drum or even the bottom end on the guitars. I would go to the tracks instead of the mix bus there, and I would make sure that you have your low end there, you know, to make it sound big, because then you could always take it off later on down the line. Like if you go, like I mix to all buses before I get to my mix bus, so I have a couple stages where I can take things out or I can add them. I believe on the channel there's a few videos talking about my template. I also talk about my template when you grab your free audio swag bag for signing up for the email list. So there's definitely a couple ways you can check that out if you'd like to. All right, next up we have last tune of the day is called Look Beyond. And this is mixed by Paul Gonzales. So we're going to jump on in and check this out. Let's just line it up. And we'll zoom in. And here we go.
Life, no matter what they say, they won't put their lies into our heads. They'll always be the same, the message they proclaim.
Okay, Paul, I'm hearing a bit of low end buildup going on here, definitely with the bass. Let's go ahead and zero this out, and let's see if we can't clean this up a little bit.
Hope that they will be well, 'cause it's love what fills my heart.
You can just see here, you can see on the Spectrum analyzer on the Pro Q2 just how much low end there is, especially in the sub region. So if you look at 20 hertz, right above where it says MIDI learn there, there's a lot of sub information going on, which we don't really need. All that's doing is that's taking up headroom, that's taking up definition from the overall mix, and it's just kind of interfering with essentially how well we can hear all of the rest of the instruments there. So I'm definitely going to do quite a bit of high passing there, and it looks like you can see we have some fundamental buildup around 50, 60, 70 hertz. We're also getting quite a bit of I'd say 200 here, but you know, I like to handle these situations more with my ears first, and then, you know, kind of go back and look. But I'm simply explaining it this way via the frequency spectrum analyzer, just because it's easier for me to talk about it with with you guys looking at it here. So let's keep going, and I'm gonna try and clean up some of this low end.
The will told me your bias just beat in. Those words won't hurt me at all, 'cause it's God who leads me all the way they want us to restrain. All this just makes me laugh. We won't fall into that slavery.
Those kind of effects that you got going on, kind of panning left and right here, they sound a little bit loud, that they're getting in the way of everything else. Yeah, kind of like those, like the robotic synth thing there. It's just a little bit loud. I would pull that down because it's, you know, I understand it's probably the lead part there, but it's just a little bit too loud for me. Here's a really good area to kind of be able to hear the in and out, taking out some of this low end. So I'm doing a cut around 187. So again, this was right about where I saw that build up close to 200. That's what I was hearing. And then instead of doing another kind of cut, I'm almost doing like a, you know, like a 1 dB shelf cut here, where I'm just kind of really wide Q and I'm pushing down the almost the entire low end here. See how it's just kind of like a, you know, we're just lowering the shelf a little bit, because if I go in and I, you know, say I go around 60 and I cut that, even though that's the area that's building up, that will probably make it sound a little too thin. So by doing this shelf move here around 90, we're kind of taking care of this whole area, but we're muting it a little bit. So check it out. I'll bring it in and out. We'll level match it and listen to the low end here. Listen to how when it's bypassed, you're going to hear a bit of muddy buildup, and then when I engage the EQ, it's going to clean up quite a bit. Right, so just, you know, just an idea, just a couple areas that I'm just hearing off the top of my head, and I'm also high passing to 40, which is quite a bit here. I usually won't high pass up to 40. I might go to about 35, but on here it seems to be holding up okay. I'm gonna just bypass this off now, and let's keep going. It sounds to me like a lot of that low end is coming from like a loose bottom end on the bass. So if you go to the bass track or the bass bus and you throw a high pass filter on there and you tighten that up a little bit, I think that would really help out the entire mix going down the line, heading towards the stereo bus. I think the electric guitars can even be high passed a bit. They have a little bit of low end going on in them, so I think by removing that, again, that would really help the mix down the line. We get a whole bunch of headroom back doing that too. You can even see by the waveform, there's quite a steady level here with just a bit of dynamics kind of poking out on top here, and I just think that might be the kick and the snare. So by removing some of those lows that I've been talking about, you're going to get a whole bunch more dynamic range back, and it's going to clean up the entire mix.
We've got to realize just truth will give us life.
You know, what I'm hearing too is I feel like we could do a bit more compression here. I'm not sure what you have on your mix bus or the individual tracks, but I'm just kind of hearing an overall, you know, I don't want to say we can squish it more, but we can definitely kind of rein in some of these transients a little bit. Let's see if on the multiband here, I just want a little bit of compression.
No matter what they say, they want to put their lies into our heads. They'll always be the same. The message they proclaim, hold that they...
That's not really working. I don't think the multiband's gonna do it here. So if I just grab like any compressor, I'm just gonna grab the I'll grab the PreSonus compressor, and I would do something gentle here. Like I said, I just want to kind of take care of the transients. 2-to-1, 15 milliseconds is cool. We'll do like 100 millisecond release. Knee looks all right. And let's try this.
It will be well, 'cause it's love what fills my heart and veins.
Cool. So I don't know if you could hear that on the end there, where you kind of have a rhythmic instrumental groove happening. Obviously, drums, bass, and guitars. But I feel like this is just going to rein in some of these transients.
It's love what fills my.
And you can see right here with the meter, what's happening is when the kick hits, it's really kind of pushing in some of that, some of the transients there. So just another way that I think you could even kind of tighten up the overall tone of your mix and to kind of get it to hit a little bit harder, because by setting the noise floor with the compressor and the ceiling, everything's gonna, I think, pick up quite a bit of punch, especially on the drums. And then by going back and tending to the low end on the bass and cleaning up some of those guitars, it's going to really bring the mix to life, I think. And it's going to also give you headroom, like I said, down the line, when it comes time to, get ready to master or anything like that. So, really, really dig the tune. That was Look Beyond by Paul Gonzales. We had 3 really cool, I would say, pop rock mixes this week. The first one was called Rock by Liam Hamer, but I think that was a different kind of rock. And then we had Unusual Times by Bobby Lee. And then we just heard Look Beyond by Paul Gonzales. So I'd like to say huge props, big thanks to the 3 of you for submitting. I really appreciate it. Keep up the good work. Definitely go back, listen to some of the things that I said, make some tweaks, and feel free to send me the revisions that you do. I would love to hear those, and you could even feel free to submit those, for an upcoming episode of Mixed Critique Monday. I think it's great to, for any of the viewers, to just kind of see the before and after results, because that's really where, that's kind of where you, it's kind of like going to the gym, right? So you get ready and you go in and you have your mix, you kind of make some tweaks to it, get other people to listen to your mixes. I like to personally, I have a select group of friends that I will send things to whose ears I trust and opinions I trust. And, I always urge everyone to kind of get as many sets of ears on there. It can only help, but definitely only send them to people you trust, because if somebody, if you don't necessarily like the way that they mix or that they work, it's hard to trust, and then you could get 10 different opinions and it could be a whole thing. So but anyway, I hope this helped the 3 of you out in some way. Again, like I said, if you are new to Mixed Critique Monday and you would like a free mix critique, all you have to do is email me, pete@mixbetternow.com. You can click on the link in the show notes or over on the website, and just send me a downloadable WAV file, preferably a WAV file, if not an MP3. Please include your name, the name of the band or the artist, and then of course, the name of the track. So, and if you are the artist, then, that takes care of itself. But it's that easy. First come, first serve. I will download it. I will put it in line for a future show. And we will definitely get to it. So, again, a big thanks to Liam Hamer, to Bobby Lee, and to Paul Gonzales. Really great job, guys. Feel free to leave lots of comments below. Let me know kind of how you guys all, mixed your tracks, or if you recorded them, if they are your own music. I love to know all that stuff. I love to kind of hear the approaches and, how everybody goes about making their own music. So big thanks as always. I really appreciate your guys' time. Okay. I appreciate you watching. I hope you have an awesome day, and I will catch you next time on the next episode of Mix Critique Monday. All right. Have an awesome day.